But in terms of that centre-back pairings, you say always changing. I mean, we've seen the amount of money that Pep has spent on defenders. Does he not have confidence and trust in their ability? If you look at majority of their funds have gone to acquiring defenders, Sylvain.
Yeah, I think half of their spending since Pep joined City have been for the defense. So that just shows you that is something not right. If you keep spending on defenders, because you're not happy with what you've got, and so far I'm not sure he's still going to be really convinced. That's the way it is. They are in a position when they can afford it and they can spend the money, and they do spend the money, but for how long and how much are they going to spend before they find the right pair of centre back? That's another question.
So do you then look at recruitment then, Matt?
I think that's probably the next area that people will focus on, because they have spent that amount of money on the defence. You would expect it to be amongst the best in the world, and yes, they don't concede loads and loads of goals, but there is frailties there. But that's because of the way that the manager wants his players to play. But I think when you do spend that kind of money, the recruitment department will come under pressure at some point. If you keep going back and saying, okay, well, that was not good enough, we spent that much money on that one, I don't think he's good enough, we need to replace him. And at some point, somebody will have to carry the can for that.
So Ruben Dias, how do you think he's settled in then, Matt?
I thought he was pretty solid today, to be honest. It's very early days, obviously, and he's settled into a new league. But I think so far so good as far as he's concerned, and I'm sure that as time goes by and as the season goes on, he'll feel more and more comfortable within the league, and I'm sure he'll carry on improving.
Am I right to presume that Ruben Dias coming in would have that bit of responsibility of trying to replace Vincent Kompany, not just in terms of his defensive abilities, but also that leadership in that back line, Matt?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And I think that's something that's probably been a little bit underplayed, is the role that Vincent Kompany played in that team, not only as a player, but as somebody who just brings the entire defence together. Sylvain will know better than me with regards to defending. But there's probably that portion of the team is probably the most important in terms of the talking that needs to go on, the organising that needs to go on around you. And Vinny was obviously one of the best at that. And that's something that does need to be replaced. And hopefully Diaz can do that for Manchester City, because this boy should have a big future.
It wasn't their first target, though. I mean, it's not Jules Koundé, it's not Koulibaly, but perhaps you're the best person to ask for this, Sylvain. How do you rate him? How do you rate Ruben Dias?
I think we'll have to wait, because today it's a game where I thought for his first game it might be a big game and a big challenge, considering he'll have to face Aubameyang or Lacazette. And I'm actually really surprised that none of those two just try to focus a little bit on him and try to unsettle him. It's his first game. He's not sure what the Premier League is, and as a striker, I will have spent my time on his shoulder trying to run behind him, and just try to unsettle him. And I didn't see any of that. So yes, today he had a good game. He had a decent game, but I don't think he really faced any challenge neither. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer to judge, really.
So amongst all the defenders that Pep Guardiola has brought in, who do you think is the best then, Sylvain?
For me, Aymeric Laporte, is French first, so I have to back up my compatriot, and I really see quality in him. I like him. He's really composed, really calm, defensively solid, offensively as well. As now, it seems like it's the most important things. I can see him having good distribution with the ball, and then he's really solid. But it seems like every time he's running a bit of good form, he's catching an injury. So I would like to see him just longer on the pitch. And I'm not sure where that comes from, but there's something to do here, because it's not right for him.
Matt?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Sylvain. I think they look a far more solid outfit when Laporte is in the team. They've got Eric Garcia there, who's obviously a youngster as well, who will obviously improve with time and experience. The big conundrum for me really has been the John Stones thing. It's just sad to see the way that his career has gone there at Manchester City. It was such big hopes for him as a ball-playing centre-half. And unfortunately for John, things just haven't worked out for him there. And I'm actually quite surprised that he didn't actually move on this summer.